Welcome to Modern Midlife, Ancient Wisdom. I apologize, in just a moment. I just want to get my notes in order here before we start. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Modern Midlife, Ancient Wisdom. I'm a coach, Eliza, and this is where we talk about what's actually happening in your body at midlife and what to do about it, using the tools modern science gives us and the ancestral wisdom your great grandmothers never had to Google. I'm a root cause health educator and strategist, and I work specifically with women navigating the messy middle of midlife, the fatigue, the weight, the brain fog, the hormones, all of it. This show exists because most of what you've been told is incomplete, and you deserve the full picture. Now, whether you're here live or watching the recording, please drop a hello in the comments so that I know you're here, and hopefully that you can hear me. And if this is your first time here, hit like and subscribe. If you're here on YouTube, I should say. I should be clear about that because otherwise that's not an option, really. I promise you won't leave without learning something. Thank you for the messages. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, okay, let's get into it. This week's episode is what belly fat, exhaustion, and broken sleep have in common. So last week I sent out an email and I made a couple of posts, and I asked a pretty simple question. I was asking, and I am asking, would a free blood sugar breakthrough challenge be helpful for you? And I got a lot of responses. Thank you guys so much for responding. And honestly, the overwhelming amount of response didn't surprise me. Didn't surprise me because blood sugar and midlife women is a conversation that I truly feel is long overdue. And I think that there's so many of you out there who are understanding that your blood sugar needs an overhaul. But here's what I did not expect. A significant number of women responded with some version of, well, I don't think blood sugar is really my issue. And for every one of them, I responded and said, okay, so tell me about your symptoms. Every single one of them, everyone without fail, described blood sugar dysfunction in their symptoms. They just didn't know that that's what they were describing. They haven't made that connection. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you all today. I think that when most women, and myself too, many years ago, I think that when we think about blood sugar problems, we immediately go to diabetes or pre-diabetes, maybe you think of it even in advance of actual full-blown diabetes. I probably didn't. But the thing is that what your doctor checks, I apologize, but the thing is that most of us, when we think about diabetes, we think about like what the doctor is checking for when he does our blood work at our annual physical, right? That's it. That's the extent of it. And if that test comes back normal, then case closed, right? We're done. We're good. And I feel that this is one of the biggest gaps in women's healthcare, especially at midlife, and it's costing women years of their lives because blood sugar dysregulation doesn't start the day that you get that diagnosis. It starts years and sometimes decades before that number ever crosses a clinical threshold. And in the meantime, your body is already struggling. It's already sending you signals. It's already doing its very best to compensate for a system, your body, that's being asked to do more than it can handle at midlife. And those signals look like, belly fat that wasn't there even just a few years ago and will not budge no matter what you do. Waking up at 3 a.m. for no apparent reason, you're just wide awake. Afternoon crashes, you have lunch and then you need a nap, right? Or you you can't continue with your day without coffee or chocolate or an energy drink. You may wake up tired even after a full night of sleep and just like wonder why didn't you get any sleep? Like you slept, but you don't feel like you slept. Also, another big one is brain fog that makes it hard to finish a sentence. I'm feeling a little brain foggy today, so I apologize for that. It's that time of the month for me for brain fog. But even things like feeling shaky or anxious when you haven't eaten, like again, that's a blood sugar issue. Oh, and cravings, like not just for sugar, but that relentless food noise where like everything is just calling to you all day long, and it just gets louder as the day goes on. Do any of those sound familiar to you? And here's what most women are being told. Here's what most women are told when they bring these symptoms to their doctor. Everything is normal, your labs are normal. And it does, like on paper, by conventional lab standards, yes, it's normal. But here's something that I really want you to hear and write it down. Normal does not mean optimal. Normal does not mean optimal. And most lab reference ranges are built on population averages. And so what that means is that the average person right now, what that means is that what labs consider normal is based on the average health of any population. And the average person right now is not a picture of metabolic health, right? I mean, look around you. Like when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the bank, when you go out into the world, maybe it's at your job, when you go out into the world and you see other people, most other people, especially our age, are struggling with major health issues. So normal is a very low bar. And it is not the same, not nearly the same as thriving. So I want to address something because I know some of you are thinking it, and I've actually heard it from you directly. I've had women say to me, but Eliza, I haven't changed anything. I still eat the same way that I always have. I'm doing the same things. I'm exercising as much as I always have. So why is my body reacting differently now? And it's not your fault, but please hear me. Because I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but your body is not the same as it was at 30 or even 40. And that's not a character flaw, it's biology. At midlife, several things shift simultaneously. Estrogen drops. We know this, right? And estrogen actually plays a role in insulin sensitivity. So when estrogen drops, your cells actually become less responsive to insulin. So even if you're not eating more sugar, you're not changing your diet, your body will begin to react in a insulin sensitivity way that's different than it did before. Another thing that happens is that our cortisol gets harder to regulate. And because one of the things that is most impacted by the menopause or midlife transition is it happens in our adrenal glands, and that's where cortisol comes from. And so cortisol gets harder to regulate, and cortisol directly raises our blood sugar. Another thing that happens is that our muscle mass naturally decreases. And so if you're exercising as much as you always have, and you haven't added more weight or resistance training, you're highly likely that it's highly likely that your muscle mass is actually decreasing a bit. It happens to most of us. And muscle is actually your primary glucose disposal tissue. Another thing that happens, it's a fairly long list, is that sleep becomes less restorative. And even one bad night of sleep, for many of us, sleep, we're like, oh no, my sleep isn't that bad. I may have a few nights a week where I don't sleep great, but even just one bad night can impair how your body regulates your blood sugar the whole next day after a bad night of sleep. So the meal that you ate for 20 years without a second thought, well, maybe not every day, but you know what I mean? Like something that you've eaten regularly for most or all of your life without an issue and without a second thought, your body now begins to process it completely differently. And that skipped breakfast that used to feel fine, now it leaves you feeling shaky and anxious. And that evening glass of wine is maybe disrupting your sleep in ways that it never has in your entire life. And it's not that your strategies have failed you, it's that they just haven't been updated for the body that you're actually living in right now. And this is something that our grandmothers understood intuitively, even without the science to explain it. They ate differently as they aged. They moved their bodies differently. They rested differently. They weren't trying to fight their bodies through every decade of life. They worked with them. Your body changes. You change with it. That's not defeat. That's wisdom. And I want to be really clear about something before we go any further. This is not a conversation about weight loss. Yes, blood sugar stability often supports a healthier body composition. That's real. That's not what I want to focus on here. What I'd prefer to focus on here is blood sugar instability, because it affects so many other things. It affects your sleep, your mood. It affects the inflammation in our bodies and whether we have high inflammation or low inflammation. It affects, here's a big one, anxiety. One of the things I've struggled with for most of my adult life is anxiety. And I was so afraid that at midlife that it would get worse. And for me, it hasn't, but that's primarily because I've learned the blood sugar anxiety connection. Also, your focus, like we talked about brain fog earlier, your ability to focus on the task at hand totally is completely affected by your blood sugar, how much energy you have or don't have, your hormones, your stress resilience, even hot flashes. Blood sugar spikes can actually trigger hot flashes, mood swings, those 3 a.m. wake ups, the afternoon crash. Like there's so many things that are affected by blood sugar instability. But the good news is that when blood sugar stabilizes, women often describe it as everything just got quieter. The cravings quieted down, the anxiety quieted down, the energy, their energy becomes steadier, sleep gets deeper, brain fog starts to lift. And I won't tell you that it happens overnight, but it does happen, and it happens pretty quickly. And when it does, women stop feeling like their body is working against them, because honestly, it never was. It's just that your body is communicating with you. It's asking for something that it's not getting. And we unfortunately don't have the ability, we're not speaking the same language. Like we don't know the language that our body is speaking. So we don't understand the signals, the symptoms, the messages. And this is why I'm building the Blood Sugar Breakthrough Challenge. It's not because I want you obsessing over glucose monitors or afraid of carbs. It's not because I want to add another layer of rules to your already full plate. I'm building it because I want you to understand what your body is trying to tell you. Because once you understand it, once you actually see the connection between what you ate and how you slept, Between that skipped meal and your 3 a.m. wake ups, between the stress that you're carrying and the craving spiral, you really can't unsee it. And that clarity changes everything. And in just 5 days, I want you to walk away knowing more about your own metabolic health than most women learn in their entire lives. Real, livable strategies rooted in how your body was designed to function. This is not a complicated protocol. It's not a meal plan that requires a culinary degree. Just the truth about what your body needs and how to start giving it that. It's free. It's 5 days, and it's going to be one of those things that you look back on and say, that's when things started to shift in my body. That's when I started to feel better. That's when I started to speak the language of my system, of my body. And if anything in this conversation hit home for you, if you thought, okay, yeah, that sounds like me, at any point, drop I'm in, whether it's in the comments right now or it's in the comments when on the recording, or whether you're watching this on YouTube or you got this in your inbox. Send me a message if that's the case with I'm in. That's it, just 2 words. And I will put you on a wait list to be one of the first to know when registration opens for the Blood Sugar Breakthrough Challenge before anyone else sees it. So yeah, drop it below. I'm watching, I'm waiting. I will definitely get back with you. I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. This show exists because I believe midlife women deserve real information, not just watered down reassurances, not it's just your age, not a prescription and a pat on the head. You deserve to understand your own body. And that's what we do here each week. So don't forget, drop I'm in the comments if you would like to be the first on the wait list for the Blood Sugar Breakthrough Challenge, which you will see in your inbox in the next couple of weeks. It's free. It's 5 days. It's coming soon. This is helpful. Please, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to hit like and subscribe. It helps more women to be able to find this show and get the information that may help them not just to feel better today, but to live longer. And if you know someone who needed to hear this, please share it with her. And know that when you close this page, you will be auto-directed to my free 7-day sleep pattern tracker. It's a great way to start seeing how what you eat and how you live is showing up in your sleep. So be sure to grab that. And I'll be back with another episode of Modern Midlife, Ancient Wisdom. Thank you so much again for being here with me. And until then, take care of the only body you'll ever live in. It knows more than you think. We are teaching you to speak its language. I'm Coach Eliza, and I will see you next time.